my name is Sia, and today I have the pleasure to be in conversation with one of the most talented musicians I know, Lakshay Khurrana. Thank you so much for joining me today. Why don't we kick things off with you giving us a little bit of an introduction about yourself and what are you currently working on?
So I go by the stage name of Lakshay only, and I'm a musician. I've been writing music since I was in school. I wrote my first song when I was in 8th standard without realizing that I'm writing a song, and that's how it started. And what I'm working on currently would be separate projects with separate artists.
That's really inspiring that you started your musical journey from such a young age. But what really inspired you to pursue music as a career and not just a hobby or a passion?
So I have always been inclined to stuff that gives me a lot of, I, I would like to say, dopamine. And I think art in general was one of that. When I was a kid, I used to paint, and I wanted to become an actor at some point. I wanted to become a comedian at some point, and music was always there for me as a background in all these stances until I realized that the only thing that is constant was music, and this is the only thing that I want to start my journey with.
You're definitely a man of many talents from what I'm hearing. But is there a specific musical influence or this sort of musical hero that you've looked up to your entire life or someone's career who you would want to emulate or
I don't know about emulating a career per se, but there have been a lot of musical talents and people who have inspired me uh, to be who I am right now. And I remember when I was a kid, I used to listen to a lot of Radiohead and Coldplay, which inspired, and a lot of Bollywood also, which started my journey towards songwriting and everything. And when I grew up, I started listening to a lot of different artists, and that gave me a lot of variety in music and gave me a better understanding and different perspectives of music as an art, as a thing which doesn't have any boundaries.
I definitely dig your music taste. It's definitely up there. So was there a specific moment in time where you were like, oh shit, like I'm really talented and I can really make it as a musician, or was it something that you developed over a period of time?
I mean, there was never a moment in my life where I'm thinking like, oh, I'm very talented. But I really think that my music, like when I started producing music, especially, I realized that what I'm creating is something that is just not appealing to me, but appealing to a lot of other people also. For the first time, I saw my parents believing in my music, which was a huge plus for me. And my friends and people who listen to it, like on open mics, gigs, and everything, which made me realize, ki, oh, I probably can make it because there are people who like it, and there are people who have an emotional connect with it. I think it started when I wrote this song called Buzdil. Different people have different interpretations of that song, which made me realize that art in itself is a big thing because there are so many perspectives involved and so many different ways you can see the same thing.
I think that's an amazing point because I think the main purpose of art is to really make you think. And as a songwriter, if your songs and lyrics can be really apply differently to everyone else's lives, I think your art is like a successful piece, in that way.
Yeah, I mean, if you would like to call it successful, then sure.
All right. So on that topic, why don't you tell us a little bit about your duo project and what can we expect from Mamuli in the coming years?
I would just like to say that some things are cooking and they're gonna come really soon.
So okay, one of the most interesting thing about a duo project is do you guys ever are you guys totally in sync with each other when it comes to more stuff, or are you guys at each other's necks?
So the thing is, me and Vardhan, we know each other since school, and creative differences तो आते हैं. अगर creative differences नहीं आ रहे, then you are doing something wrong. क्योंकि two songwriters making music are like two different perspectives merging together in order to create something which is a blend of both. And now we have a very good chemistry because of which we understand each other.
Yeah.
And we realize कि क्या चीज सही है, क्या चीज गलत है.
All right. So moving on to a different segment is like as an independent artist, how would you say your experience has been dealing with the music industry?
I have been lucky enough to find people who have helped me through a lot of things related to my music. I have had people who have helped me with managing. I have had people who have helped me with distribution, including this company, including my friend Moksh. But I just think that for me, like I did not have to deal with the industry in that sense as of now. But yeah, I know about people's struggles.
Is there like any pieces of advice or some sort of insights that you would like to give out to the other artists who are currently, struggling to really navigate their way through the independent music scene?
So I think I'm not the right person to be giving out advices right now. But I really think that consistency is really important and it is something that I really struggle with. I really think that if you believe in your music enough, then you will make it through.
So I guess what you're trying to say is having consistency and having a very positive attitude and really believing in yourself are like those three sort of secret recipes that you follow to like really put out your music out there.
Yes.
So let me understand this from an artistic point of view. So going by the pure numbers of like releases that come out on Spotify every day, there are above like 50,000 of them like uploaded each day. So how do you really sort of break through that noise and find an organic fan community and like really reach out to the people who would sort of resonate and connect with your music?
I've never thought about it in that sense. Like I know it's true, but I always ignore this reality when I'm talking to myself. But I just think about it in a very purely simplistic way. If you're creating music, if you think that music is good, then just put it out there without even thinking about the outcome.
All right, so I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit and ask you what is the most recent project that you're working on.
So the most recent project that I'm working on is a like combination of three different projects which I'm working on simultaneously, and two of them are Mamuli projects, and one of them is my own solo project.
So, what is the sort of feeling that you want your fans to, experience, or like some sort of journey that you want your fans to like be on with you? I
just want the audience and listeners of the song to feel the song in a more personal way, to feel what not exactly what we felt, because again, like I want them to relate the madness with their own feelings, like with their own experiences and what they have gone through. Everyone has different experiences, and I just want the songs to be at that level where you can relate relate that piece of art with your own experiences and form a meaning out of it.
I agree. Music is like a really personal experience. So, what do you think is that one thing that really makes your music more personal and more appealing to everyone?
If the song is good and if it makes you feel things with just a guitar and vocals, then that song is good. If the song is good from the bare minimum, then that is it. Like there is no secret sauce on this. There is no secret recipe in this.
All right. Before I move on to my last question, I want to circle a little bit to your first response, where you basically told me that you started making music when you were as early as the 8th grade. So, is there one piece of advice that you would like to give yourself to when you were in the 8th grade?
Yeah, to not get involved in the semantics a lot. Like when I was a kid, I remember when I started making music, I made some songs and I on the phone only, like छोटा सा Samsung Guru का phone था मेरे पास, उसी पे मैं रिकॉर्ड करता था, उसी पे मैं ओवरलेज करता था, and it was a very noisy recording and I put it up on SoundCloud. It took me probably a day and a half to put one song out, and it was very fast, and it made me feel really nice. And then I got involved in the semantics, in the professionalism, and I just wish if I could go back to my childish sense of creating music just because I like it, and I wish I could do that again. And that would be one piece of advice to myself as a younger musician, to just do whatever I want to do, to just have fun with it. All right. Thank you so much for being here, Lakshay. It was a pleasure having you and knowing more about your journey. Thank you.